Well, hey there, folks. It has been an eventful morning for the bees, and I think they're going to be ornery today. Hey guys, this is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. But today, the bees just might do me. Welcome back to another day in my 2020 beekeeping season, where I take you all the way from winter through to the next fall here at my little operation in Southeast Louisiana and how I do business. And remember, this is not a how-to video. There are plenty of those out there on the net, and you can find them everywhere. But if you happen to pick up any tips and tricks from me, that's great. And if you have any tips and tricks for me, be sure and let me know in the comments. So yesterday I went out and put out swarm boxes, and I said in that video I'd be doing splits today, and I woke up this morning and it was raining. We got rain through till about noon. Then we got some sunshine, and I've let it sit for a couple hours, let the bees get out, and boy, they have been after it. I came out here at first to bring some equipment out, and there were thousands flying in and out. They're starting to calm back down now, so that means they're all home. So it could get very interesting, and that's why I say the bees could do me, because they may not be in the best of moods. I mean, they came out in droves, and there's still some pretty active hives. But it was a buzz out here earlier. So I'm hoping they're not too ornery, and I'm hoping we can get in, get out, and do these splits. Now, let me go over these splits, what I'm doing. I never split this early. I told you that before, but what I'm seeing in 3 of the hives is they are ready to split. Plenty of drones. One of them had queen cups. So, you know, I don't know, will the bees swarm this time of year with not a huge nectar flow going on? Maybe, maybe not. But I want to go ahead and do some quick splits on those. The problem is stores. It's not the drones I'm worried about with splits this time of year. It's not the nectar necessarily, because there is a little bit, but that could affect the stores. It's not the warmth, because we've got a string of warm weather coming with lows in the 60s and a couple days in the 40s, but 50s and 60s predominantly, because I'm going to do vertical splits. It's the warmth I'm not worried about. Mating flights could be an issue, because I let my splits make their own queens, and we've got tons of rain ahead, but mating flights won't be ready for a long time. We still got another 20 days or so. So that's not necessarily the issue. It's the stores. It's not even pollen stores. They're bringing in pollen in droves right now. So they've got pollen to make those new queens. It's the honey. Do they have enough honey? So I may have to go through a few of the frames and make sure when I do the split that I got enough honey in both boxes. And I kind of do like to find my queen and see if she's in the top box. I don't have to. If they get too ornery, I'll just throw the board in, and I'll come back in 7 days and see where the queen cells are, and I'll know she's not in there. And I'll make sure she gets moved to the top if that's where she's not. So that's not the issue at all either. So I'm kind of iffy on doing these splits, but at the same time, the beauty of a vertical split is if I don't like what I see and things aren't looking right, you pull that screen divider back out, and done deal. They're back together. So we've got the drones, we've got the pollen, we've got the weather, we've got the screen boards, we've got some nectar. We're going to go ahead and do a few splits. So let's get going. Let's get started. Let's try not to drag this out too long. Unfortunately, I think I am going to have to go through the frames a little more than I want. But hey, we'll knock it out as fast as I can and hope not to drag this video out. So I got my list of things to do over there. I've written all my notes down. Let's get started. All right, guys, we're getting started on this hive. This is one we opened the other day, and it was plenty of bees, plenty of brood, plenty of everything. Ooh, that's rotten. Don't like rotten. Ooh, they're coming out. And sometimes you take some smoke in here, give it to them good, and then just let it set. Because I'm really concerned that they're going to be upset today. These are those Man Lake boxes I talked about. I'm telling you, there was a bad batch going on for a while, because these are both rotten. Let's see what we got. Let's see how ugly they want to be. If they're ugly, I'm just putting the boards in and being done. Yeah, see how they're coming out of there? And that's not terrible mean bees. Fact of the matter is, this is what all the books tell you don't do. And I'm doing it. So we might do this a different way today. Whoa, you seen that? Look at them. Ooh, not happy. So we're going to give them a lot of smoke. Kill those little beetles. Give them a lot of smoke. We're going to take this off. It's got plenty of honey. And that doesn't. That's where I have to watch out. Because I'm essentially splitting these in half where they can't get to each other. So I'm going to have to put up with some frustrated bees for a minute and get some honey frames in here. That's honey. That's good. Not a lot of honey. Gotta have honey. Yeah, that's honey. There's drones. There's the pollen. There's fresh brood. I bet queen's down here. We're gonna look for it real quick. Really don't want to have to go through. Oh, look at all the fresh brood. Yeah, we need to get them some honey stores down here. Whoa, yeah, it's warm already. Look at there. That one about gave out. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over here and get some honey. Oh, yeah, they're not happy. What happens when you miss one after rain? It's really not a good idea. Yet I do it anyway. What is wrong with me? Here's what we're going to do. Take a frame of this. No, I don't want to take that. That's pollen. Take a frame of this here. Here. I'm going to get 2 frames of brood, preferably capped. Put in here. Try and split it best we can. It's not stinging. It's just saying, hey. Well, actually, I think one just got me on the backside. But they're just saying, hey, what are you doing? We'll put the honey on the outside. Honey. Yeah, they're not stinging, they're just buzzing everywhere like, hey, what are you doing? Get out of here. Oh, they had dark green pollen. I always wonder what that is. We get that. You can smell that pheromone when they're upset, and I can smell it. windy, so. Punch a few holes in here. Oh. This helps them start chewing it out a little easier. Don't dampen this. Put my double screen board on. Screen on both sides. Oh, look at dirt dauber nests. This is a double screen board. It's flat on this side. This is 1/8 inch hardware cloth. There's an entrance. There's a ridge. I put it on here. I make the entrance go backwards. There we go. Take this. It's still pretty heavy. Alrighty. That hive is split. Alright, here's what we got out of that. The bees, they're not stinging either. They're just flying all over and bouncing. So now we have an entrance here. Any field bees that were in here when they come out, they're going to go back to the front because they're oriented to the front of this hive. Okay? As new bees emerge from the brood, they'll reorient to this side. We want the queen in here because this box is going to contain a crazy amount of bees. We don't want her down there or she's still crowded. We want her up here. She can always make more. That's why I always like her up top. Now, the way they were acting, I did not feel like going through them. So what I'll have to do is come back in about 7 days and check and see where I've got queen cells at. If I've got queen cells in the bottom, all is well. If I've got queen cells in the top, I need to reverse the boxes. And again, it'll equalize because the field bees will go back in the front again when they leave the top. That's how vertical splits work. Splits works. They'll eat through that paper in a couple days, and what we'll have is a hive, a whole unit that shares heat. That's it. Let's go to the next one. Alright, we're at number 21. Yeah, these guys are going to act, these gals. One thing I will say about doing these splits early is they're not necessarily busting at the seams like normally would have. So what I'm doing is I'm checking to see how much honey they got. So they'll have 3 frames. I'll give 3 frames to the other one. These bees don't seem to be too upset about me being in here. Yeah, it's chocker block full. Now what I'm going to do is fill that empty void there. Oh yeah. They're bringing nectar in. There's pollen and nectar. Goodness. Alright, that one's done. This is not the best day to inspect them either. I'm running them all south into the bottom box. That's not the best thing either because I'm having to smoke them so heavy because it's not a good day. It's not always a lot of bees in here. Wow. But that's what we'll do. Let's check the bottom box. That's what I'm concerned about. Let's go ahead and go through this thing. Honey. Honey, honey, honey. Bees trying to sting me. I squeezed her. Accidentally got her. Oh yeah. Definitely gonna be. Again, this is not the ideal day to be going through these things, but we got rain all next week. We really do. We got a lot of rain. They're just all finally home. Let me smoke y'all a little bit. What it is about cameras. Yeah, it's light on top. It's not that heavy. Oh yeah. There's the queen right there. Perfect. That's where I want her. Mm-hmm. Took me a while to pick out what newspaper. You want to give them something they want to read while they're waiting to make a new queen. I try to find something entertaining for them. Now get off of there, you're going to be stuck. Move our queen up. No. Here's what we got. All outside figuring things out. What's going on? Disruption. These are figuring out their new entrance. Now what we're going to have is we're going to have a bottom box slap full of bees because that's where they're oriented to. That's where they're all going to come back. But we have plenty of brood that's going to come out, and we've got a queen that's going to replace brood in the top. We got to make sure there's enough brood in the bottom to make queens from. So the only issue I do see with splitting this early is the hive is set up with stores on top and then only a little bit of stores on the bottom from the winter because we didn't reverse these, remember. And I didn't want to reverse them because I have a brood nest through and through. These 3 hives have brood nests top and bottom, and that's what I found when I looked through them. So the rest that were reversed, they didn't. So we're going to see what happens. Going to monitor them a little bit closer than we normally would. Now this one's already calmed down. They've calmed down. See what they're doing. Yeah, they've started to figure things out. And then there's these ladies that they're about ready for a 10 frame. This one is. We're going to watch these. Watch these bees here. They'll be calmed down probably before we're done. Alright, I got to go in and get a box for that other one to expand it, and then should be all we need to do. Hey guys, still covered up here, still in the bee yard, and wanted to show you this hive that was so packed with bees on the front. I've been out here another 30-40 minutes just goofing around doing some other things I wanted to do. I didn't necessarily put it on video, it would have been tedious stuff. But here's that hive. Look at it now. So it's calmed down. Let's see what the back looks like. So now we have 2 hives. Gotta watch the food down in this one. Gotta queen up in this one. And then of course the other 2, I don't know where the queen is. So I'll have to go in 7 days in all of them anyway, check to see if I got queen cells. And if I have queen cells on top, I'm just going to reverse the boxes. If I don't have queen cells in either, then it means I didn't have enough eggs in the one without the queen. So that's how I do my splits. I'm going to go on in now. The bees are still, I'm leaving them off this camera. Still antsy. Beesy, antsy. Wouldn't an ant be antsy and a bee be beesy? All I know is they don't like the camera. They're camera shy. Hey guys, I'm back from the bee yard out there. Wrap things up. I had a few other things to check on after I got done with that last one. Didn't want to drag y'all along. So I wrapped up. I did my vertical splits. You saw I went ahead and did newspaper. I do that if I can. It's just, I don't know, I've always done it, and I just want to be sure we've got the right, pheromone break and all that good stuff. I know you can do it without them, but I just do it with them. I wasn't going to because it was cold, but again, we have no cold days coming, so I think we're sitting good for heat. I think we're sitting good for drones. I think we're sitting good for pollen. I'm concerned about the the nectar in the stores, but I'll watch them. You saw what I did. I swapped some honey frames out. Gave 2 or 3 frames of honey to different ones. Switched them. The tops still have plenty. I have to go back in 7 days, take a look, see, make sure those other 2 hives, I find a queen in the 3rd hive, make sure they're making cells. And here's the thing, I've never split this early without the nectar flow around the corner, so I'm just going to watch and see. And the beauty of the vertical split like that with the screen board is I just yank that board and put them back together. The recombines are simple. They're sharing each other's smells already. If I make 2 queens, I'll pull the old queen, put her in a nuke with some frames, and I'll have a nice hive. And I'll still have a split. If they don't make queens, I'll put them back together. I mean, it's the options are unlimited as far as what you can do and what you can go back to do. So that's the plan. Anyway, we'll see what happens with these splits. I'm glad you guys could join me on this time out. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up if you could. And be sure and subscribe. And once again, share it with your friends. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm glad you're all along for the ride. Those are that are coming along and watching my season. So anyway, this is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Y'all have a great one. And God bless y'all.